In this video, I'm going to show you a personal workflow with ChatGPT that I use every single day. Every time I show this workflow to a new person, the reaction is always the same. First, they didn't know this was possible, and second, they want to steal it right away. And the best part, it's super easy to learn. All you need is to stay 5 more minutes with me. Now, before we get started with this workflow, my name's Alex. I'm one of the co-founders of 9x. We teach people how to use AI and how to build automation to be more efficient at work. If it's the first time you are on our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe. Now, without further ado, this is the workflow. Just 2 steps to brainstorm with AI and with ChatGPT. Step 1, you're going to start a conversation with ChatGPT Voice. Step 2, we're going to finish on desktop with ChatGPT Canvas. And what's important is that the 2 steps each have a specific purpose. With step 1, we're going to have an unstructured conversation or human banter. We're going to bounce ideas back and forth. This is not the time to think about what is the order of our idea or what is the most important thing. We just want to be human. We want to have an exchange. Some ideas are interesting, some thoughts come up. We want to share all that and have a conversation with ChatGPT. Step 2, we want to get a crystal clear summary that we can share then with people. And for that, we head to Canvas and we prompt ChatGPT to generate a summary. So that's the workflow, as simple as it gets. Before we look at an example conversation where I ran through this exact workflow recently, let me give you some background. I use ChatGPT multiple times a day to brainstorm. It can be about a decision that we're going to make at 9x. It can be about a project that starts. It can be a variety of things. But in my day-to-day job, I get to think a lot about new things. I need to form an opinion, get a structured idea of what is my position, and then communicate it to others. Now, there are tons of situations where I need to form an opinion quickly and where I would just benefit from having a structured thought fast. And in that case, I will use ChatGPT to go from unstructured idea or random thought to a nearly perfect executive summary of where I stand on an issue. As I mentioned, the starting point is going to be from the phone, and I have a shortcut right here to open up ChatGPT. And as you can see right away, I am already right in the conversation, so I have to say something. I'm going to start. So ChatGPT, ignore what I'm saying so far, and let's start a conversation. I want us to brainstorm on whether or not we should have a Slack community for our learners. And then what you see below is the conversation that we had. So it started with a list of pros and cons. Then I agreed with some of the points. There was something that ChatGPT didn't think about, is an opportunity for us to talk directly to our users. So right now, we don't have direct channel to our users, and that would be an opportunity, even though maybe a Slack community is a lot of work. And so we have this discussion. Absolutely, that's a crucial point. Direct communication with your user is a significant advantage. So it goes my way. I'll get to a few tips you can add in order to avoid having ChatGPT always going your way, because you want some confrontation to your ideas. And so the conversation goes on. I also asked it to consider other channels than Slack. Should we have a Discord? Should we do something on Teams? Just to stress test a bit the idea. It went to analyzing different platforms we could use for that. Then I gave it some input. What are the risks? What are the potential red flags for doing that? And then we got this discussion. The last question I asked ChatGPT about this topic was an estimate of what's the minimum resources we need to make it work. So it's not enough to just open a Slack community. You also need to take care of it. And this might be an important factor for us in order to do it or not. I got my answer. And so you can see it's a very unstructured conversation. I have different points, things I think about, and we have that all documented in one conversation. All right, we're already at step 2. Now it's time to go to your desktop application. So either ChatGPT in the browser or the ChatGPT desktop app. And we're going to open Canvas and summarize our conversation. So have ChatGPT open in the browser. First thing you want to do, so I already did that before, but by default, you're not going to have ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas. So the first thing you're going to do is toggle that setting so that ChatGPT can generate canvases. So we can see here again our conversation, the different things that were discussed, our unstructured conversation. And what we do at the end is a very simple instruction. Open Canvas and create an executive summary of our conversation. And what does it do? So the first time you trigger it, it's going to generate a canvas. I can open it up here. And Canvas, if you don't know what it is, it's a new feature of ChatGPT that allows you to generate a document. The main difference with this right here, this cannot be changed. You can copy paste somewhere else and change it. This right here is fully editable. And that's the power of this workflow, because now I have a summary of our discussion in a more structured way. What's more, I can prompt ChatGPT to make changes to it. I can refer to things in our conversation that are not mentioned in this summary. And I can go basically from unstructured conversation to a structured, well-summarized take on my opinion. Pretty cool now. All you did was having a conversation with ChatGPT and then ask for an exec sum, and then you get a flawless, well-structured summary of what you exchanged. Personally, the best workflow I'm using right now. And since I'm using it every day, here are a couple more tips you might want to look at. So here are the tips. Since you are going to have voice conversations with ChatGPT, you want to tweak it so that your conversations feel a little bit more natural. And you also want to create some keywords to prompt it to do certain things. So the three most useful things I found in this setup is to ask ChatGPT to answer with shorter answers, to have a keyword, to have it expand on important points or interesting points. So go back to detailing a lot of things, and to have what I call yes, but answers. And you can see, so this is actually a transcript of when I added those settings to ChatGPT. ChatGPT has memory, so you don't need to configure that anywhere in particular. You just need to say, from now on, I want you to answer in a certain way, or I want you to provide responses in a certain way, and it will save it to its memory. So the first one, for shorter answers, instead of a verbose answer, which is great when I'm reading, but not great when we're talking, I want a very short, concise answer. So give me the bullet points, but don't give me the descriptions of the bullet points. So that's number one. Number two, and it's combined in one prompt or one take I gave it a while ago. One is to expand. So when it's interesting, all I have to say is expand, and then it knows, okay, now this time we'll go back to business as usual, and I'm going to give a detailed answer. So expand to just go back to the usual setting. And the last one, since we are in a conversation and I'm looking for contradiction, I want ChatGPT to stop being a people pleaser. And sometimes, instead of giving me yes and, yes, your idea is amazing and I can totally see where it would work, I want a yes, but answer. For me, it's just a trigger for ChatGPT to challenge what I say. So if I have an idea of a Slack community, but I want a yes, but answer, this will prompt ChatGPT to look for the shortcomings, to look for the risks, rather than looking for all the good reasons why my idea is great. So that's it for the tips. Shorter answers, expand, and yes, but answers. And that's already the end of this video. I hope you found the content valuable and that you learned something. But most importantly, I hope I managed to convince you to try this. You have to try this. Please try it at least once. And I guarantee this workflow I just showed you today, this is just a glimpse of the future. We are going to get away from our computers. We're going to stop typing things all day long and sitting in front of screens, and voice is going to soon become the main interface, and that's going to be a great benefit to all of us. So if you want to live in the future, you can already today use ChatGPT Voice and Canvas to brainstorm on your ideas. I hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next video. Cheers.